This is a box, and this is an unboxing. Now, as you can see, I've got another Akko product on my desk, and I swear, I'm not an Akko shill, but they've just been putting out some pretty decent stuff lately, and I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. So, as you can see on the desk, we've got the ACR Pro Alice Plus. These, I think only 100 of these were released on the international market, and on the I think there were like 300 that were released in the European market. So they sold out really fast, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on one. I don't know if they're still in stock or if they've restocked them, but it is a product that they will have. I'm kind of excited about this because I have been looking for an Alice board, a budget Alice board, mainly because I won't be daily driving it, but I wanted something that I could use to force myself to practice my touch typing, because after nearly 20 years of gaming, I have realized that the WASD actions have completely obliterated my ability to touch type properly. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this today, and I'm not really sure what's in store, so maybe we take a look at the whole box this time. So it comes in one of these colorful boxes. It seems to be what the acrylic boards ship in. Nice little Alice layout on the back, kind of neat. Nothing real interesting or fancy on the boxes. There's you know, authentication code and things like that, so pretty much it there. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside the box. Again, Akko with their packaging is pretty nice. You got all the goodies here. Let's see what's inside the goodie box first. So this board is a complete board. It comes with keycaps and switches, and this is pretty nice. So you get the black on white, and these are ASA. So I really like ASA because they're kind of an OEM profile, but wider dish caps, kind of like the SA profile. So you get those, but it also looks like you get, which is kind of nice. I haven't actually checked to see if these are included in the actual set that you can buy from them, but you do get the white on black accents or modifiers if you want. Well, yeah, they're just accents. So you got space bar, enter key, backspace, shift. So then you get even more extras and even more extras. I mean, okay, so it's got a split space bar, but you get full-size space bar if you want to use this set on something else. Again, with one of those nice rubberized, it's like a rubberized, so it's not paracord or anything like that, but still a pretty reasonable coiled cable, and it does appear to go in opposite directions, unlike some of the Keychron ones you get. With the ACR boards, they also ship you feet. So these are similar to the feet that I got with my ACR 87. And then you get another one of these guys. Again, definitely recommend getting a screwdriver kit. And then pretty okay switch puller. And this is kind of nice. It's got, let's see if I can't. It's got these really nice tiny ends that can really get in there. You know, unlike I've got a couple other keycap pullers here, or switch pullers. This is kind of what I'm used to getting, and you see the hooks on the ends are a little wider and they're not angled. And I've actually had to modify one that kind of has that same angle for getting in those tight spots up against aluminum cases, because you don't want to scratch that aluminum anodization. So switch puller, which is not something that they typically include. And then we get keycap puller. And then it looks like some of those neato gasket sock boot things. So that's everything in the extras box here. Quite a good bit of extras. If you think about this, this board I think is somewhere in the neighborhood of $120. That is a pretty good bit of extras that you get on top of the built keyboard, or the pre-built keyboard. All right, so shove that back in there. Here's our foam. Nice little user manual. Okay, so there is some English in it. I thought it was all going to be Chinese at first. Their manuals really aren't super extensive. It just kind of tells you how to use the hotkeys. I use their website and get what I need from there. All right, this is nice. So let's go ahead and open this up and pull it out. If you saw the Mod 006 video, you'll know that I like polycarbonate plates for their flexibility. And this is a nice flexible piece, and it's got like that foggy acrylic, which I like because I feel like it helps diffuse light a little bit better. And then here we have the board itself. So let's go ahead and set this aside and we'll have a look at it. All right, so this right now, this is not what I expected. I expected a stacked acrylic board, and oh my, hold on. Look at this. Would you just look at it? Oh my goodness. Oh, and it even has the little rubber feet that I like. I usually get these Hudson Hi-Fi larger versions of these for the aluminum cases that I use because I like a really high typing angle. So that is kind of cool. It's shorter than I would normally use, and the typing angle isn't as steep, but I don't know what else to say. This is beautiful. I'm gonna have to hook up the RGB on it or something to see what it's like. But yeah, that is beautiful. Let me get that cable here. I don't know that I've been this excited about unboxing something since I got the QK. Oops, kind of need that for a light. The QK was something that I was really excited for. And then the Mod 006, I really wasn't excited for that at all, to be honest. Like I picked it up and it was kind of one of those things where I had intended on using that case for, and I'm just applying power to this, by the way. I'm not gonna hook it up to a machine, but I was looking forward to that because I wanted to use the case of it with that Midnight Blue Mod 007. And, you know, they ended up just bringing it back in stock. So anyway, this is kind of exciting. Crap. But yeah, this is beautiful. All right. So remember how I said I'd go to the website and use the manual? How about we use this manual right now, figure out how to change the RGB effects. All right, so got function L, light on, brightness up and down, Animation left to right, slower, faster, okay. And then we've got the acrylic case lights, which are Z and X. So it's similar to the other board. So if you have like a 3068 or anything like that, it's going to be similar function configurations. So she's already asleep. So let's go ahead and go through some of these lighting effects. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to get white. It does look like the way they're diffused. Of course, on camera, it looks white, but in person, that it's more of a blue color, because I guess the way they're achieving white and then it's being diffused. But hey, on camera it looks good. There's our white. There's our solid. There we go. So now, well, it's not strobing in real life, but it does look that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kill this, and we'll go ahead and get into the board. But I want you to know that this is it is very nice. It's just the polling rate of the LEDs is not matching up with my frame rate, but this actually does look really nice. I'm not big on RGB, but if you wanted to do a display piece with this and take a photo, it's a very nice bluish white glow. Very pretty. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And what I would like to do today is I would like to tear into it a little bit and see what the inner makings of this thing are, because I want to see what makes this awesome. So let's get a light turned back on here. So if you look here, we get those hex screws again. So there's 3, 6, 9. There are 12 hex screws again. And this is gasket mounted. Let's see what kind of flex we have. That's interesting. Okay, so there's no, what you're seeing here, you can't really tell, but there is some flex from the feet, which is nice. It's another reason why I use them. There is a little tiny bit of flex in the board, but because it's using the aluminum plate right now, it is pretty solid movement. So I'm going to use I'm going to use this screwdriver kit. I highly recommend you get one of these. In one of my previous videos, I did fail to mention in the Mod 06 video that it also comes with this this tool pouch. It's got some other extra tools, spudgers and things like that. So you can get these for about $18 or $15 sometimes, but that full kit is usually in the $20 to $30 range, depending on what kind of tools you get with it. So what size do we need here? I think it's a 2. It is indeed a 2. It's a little bit smaller than the Mod 007. Oh, but this is exciting. Super exciting. Let's pull it here. And it looks blurry. Promise. It's not a focus issue. It's just how it is diffused. So let me get this apart and I'll bring them closer to you. Look at that. And it's Ferris. So some people don't like that. I like that because I like to be able to use the tip of my screwdriver to pull out the bolts or screws. All right, that's the last of them, and the front just kind of plopped off. So let's flip her back over. So take a look at, man, this clear acrylic is somewhat difficult to film, but it's not as deep, I don't feel, as the mod, but it still has a lot of space for the gasket to sit. But I don't expect a lot of flex, considering this is a pretty tight board. All right. Moment of truth. All right, so when you do take this apart, if you're gonna mod it or do any modifications to it at all, there is a Jst connector here. Let's see if I can't. But it's right here, or right there. I will try to zoom that in a little bit because I don't want to put any unnecessary stress on this. But I'll go ahead and grab a spudger here, and we will pop that out. There we go. That came out fairly easily. So taking a look at this, you can kind of see how these are quite a bit deeper on the bottom, like right in here, quite a bit deeper than they were on the mod. So instead of having a flatter bottom here and then a thicker, deeper on the top, they actually seem to be even top and bottom. So this is 2-piece. It's not stacked acrylic. It is just 2-piece. Ooh, you can't hear that because I got the NVIDIA voice on, but boy, does that sound like a good piece of acrylic. It sounds like acrylic should. So let's see here. I don't know if you can see some of the texture from the milling process, but there's definitely texture here. And if you handle it, I'm sure your finger greases are going to get on here, and you're going to need to keep it clean if you swap out regularly like I do. So, but it's very well manufactured. It's really smooth. It has the Akko engraving on the back of it. Well, I guess inlay rather. But there's no rough edges. So I'm really happy with this, because the ACR 87 that I have is it's real rough. I'm not happy with the stacked acrylic finish on it. So there's that. So let's take a look. We get some EVA foam. Get it off. It's taped on there. There we go. So you get some EVA foam. Looks to be, well, let's get the calipers here. It is, zero it out. This EVA foam is about 3 millimeters thick. So this is a 3 millimeter sheet of EVA, which should give a nice, should fill that little void that's in here. Might make you a little bit poppy. We'll test that out here shortly. So here is PCB. We see those TTC sockets again, which is kind of nice. And we've got per key RGB, but then we also, around the edges, we have that backlight, as you saw in the seizure inducing moment. Again, we have those gasket socks. So So those are kind of nice. And they can pop on and off the plate, no problem. And I'll learn some more about these microcontrollers and what they do, so I can talk to them about them a bit more. So I don't know where the ESD protection and all that is, but we do still get, and this is something I neglected to mention on the mod 006 rather, is that we do get the ability to plate mount stabs. So Akko, not plate mount, PCB mount. So Akko ships with plate mounted stabs. You can see here. So they ship with the plate mounted stabs, but they also have their own PCB stabs now, and you can use any other PCB stabs. You just got to make sure, you'd have to double check clearances and things like that. But it's very interesting to see, because I would be curious to see how they line up. It's, yeah, interesting. And as we expect, won't be able to hear it because I don't have the ability to easily access the machine that's recording to turn off the voice, but it's what you would expect, I think. I mean, of course, it's not in the case right now, but I'm listening for the crystal switches. So why don't we go ahead and take out a crystal switch, because I haven't found any information on them yet. I will definitely need to take a look and see what... I'm assuming they're going to be like whites. And I also assumed that they were maybe going to be a TTC switch. So let's grab a keycap and switch puller here. And I always go for the J key. I don't know why. I just like to abuse it. Okay. I already see something here. So these are not TTC switches. They are KTT switches. So these crystals, they look to be long pole CS switches. But that is interesting. So as you see, they are a CS style switch, but instead of having KO latches, they have cherry latches. Now these are supposed to come pre-lubed. They sound like they are. They really do. They sound like they're pre-lubed. They don't have the scratch that the other CS switches. These actually feel very close to a Radiant Red. Now, I expected these to be like 40 grams, but I'm not sure. This has got to be... This is a heavier switch. It almost feels like... Let me grab it here. It almost feels like a milky yellow. So in terms of the linear force. So I think these are heavier switches. I think their intention was, oh, it's a typist board, it's an Alice, and they're gonna want something with a little bit more heft to it. But then it also makes me wonder why they didn't use tactile switches. So there's that. And then we can go ahead and why not? Let us go ahead and tear into this switch. So I believe this is a CS style stem in a jelly housing, because this housing is very difficult to open, like most of the jelly housings that I've experienced. You gotta really get in there and get it apart. And that's actually one of the selling points of an Akko switch, in my opinion. All right, so you're getting a steel spring. The steel spring, it's not dual stage. It is roughly 18 millimeters long. So 17.5. Almost lost a spring there. And that's one thing I wish Akko would do, is I wish in their pre-built boards they would give you at least 2 extra switches. Feeling the spring itself, that's odd. I'm not getting any lube from the spring itself. The housing, it's going to be hard to show here. But there is a bit of a haze to it, so essentially like a dry lubing. And that's the thing, is I think they said that these were hand lube switches. So everything is all crystal clear, so it's difficult to really show everything. It is, if you can see here, it is a long pole stem, so it is going to have that bit of a bottom out sound. But outside of that, this just seems like it's kind of your standard CS switch, you know, your middle of the road, full polycarbonate, middle of the road, longish pole. It doesn't have a super long pole, but it's long enough that it should help with interference and give you that poppy bottom out. Again, sorry you can't hear that, I'll work on that, but it definitely has a bit of a pop to it, so that's nice. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pop this back in, put it back together, and then what I will do is I will share a stock sound test with you, and then we will, in the next video, I will tear this down again and we will rebuild it, and we will use the provided PC plate. And I'll do a sound test at the end of this video. But I'll do a sound test at the end of this video with the stock configuration. And then what we'll do is we will test it with the polycarbonate plate. And then I may lube the switches. I'm unsure, but if the typing experience feels like there's definitely lubrication needed, I will do the lubrication, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and put this guy back together. And there you go, she's back together. So again, I think this is it's a beautiful board. It's, the acrylic is a foggy acrylic, so it's very nice looking. It's very sleek. It's a nice texture. I don't think if you're somebody who rests your hands, it's gonna hurt. I do need to get some wrist rest because I tend to type at a typing angle like this, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna make that happen with this board. So we're gonna use it flat. We'll figure it out. So yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll get cleaned up here, and then we will proceed with a stock sound test. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid and be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. I'm enjoying doing this content. If you enjoy the content that I'm producing and these looks at these boards, I'd like to do some more different kinds of content, and it's encouraging to get the feedback. And always, if you can, leave me a comment and let me know what you think, and feel free to contribute on what you'd like to see done in the future. So again, if you liked that video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and I thank you very much for hanging out with me today, and look forward to the mod video as well as some follow-up sound tests. Thanks, guys.